So let's continue talking about how bad One Punch Man Season 3 is, because it literally just reached a nigh historic low. Because Episode 6, titled Motley Heroes, is rated a 1.4 on IMDb. So to give you some insight into how bad that is, in the trivia section of the page, it says, and I'm not making this up, this is the lowest rated episode of a popular anime ever. Oh my god. And I think it's like one of the lowest rated episodes of just anything on this site, which is like, wow. So yeah, that episode wasn't good. And I don't expect anybody to really get on board with it because it was just all talking and there was hardly really any animation to accompany that talking. But obviously in this case, it was just a double negative. And aside from it just being all talking, I mean, actually going back into the manga, this is a very talk-heavy sequence. I wonder if one even considered that when he was thinking about it being adapted into an anime. Even though it doesn't really bother me because I'm really invested in the story and I think it's interesting, but the casual viewer doesn't really care about that stuff. There's plenty of mistakes other than just poor animation. For example, like Atomic Samurai's hair just not even being finished, which is like odd. And in this latest episode, Captain Mizuki has like 6 fingers. This actually also happened in the One Piece anime recently with Venus or Nusjuro. And sure, honest mistake, but Captain Mizuki also has like 3, chest things. I know it's cringe when I say stuff like that, but I'm just trying not to trigger this sensitive algorithm, guys. Bear with me. And speaking of chest things, I forgot to talk about this, but they mistakenly gave Royal Ripper some chest things as well, because I guess they just assumed Royal Ripper was a woman based on what he looks like in the manga. And also, I haven't even checked the other ratings of this season, so it seems like everything is below 5. Episode 1 being the highest with 4.1, then it's just 3.9, 3.7, 3.4, 3.9, 1.4, and then the latest episode, episode 7, was 2.4. Let's just take a look at some of these comments on IMDb, because these are like the casuals, not hardcore like myself or other viewers of this channel, which you'll see in the comments section. An absolute disgrace. I have been a fan of the anime for years. I even avoided the manga because I wanted to watch it adapted so badly. Even after all of the hate towards season 2, I still enjoyed it because of how much I liked the show. I kept hoping it will be up to my expectations. I was prepared to accept it even if it was season 2 quality. But this is horrendous. It is unacceptable, and I am honestly perplexed on how it was even released. Please remake it. Remake it. That's an interesting proposal, and I guess we'll come back to that later if I remember to talk about it. But anyway, as we've talked about before, I don't want to put all of the blame on JC Staff, but it just seems like it's overall just a combination of a perfect storm of disappointment. Because, the parent company that owns One Punch Man, I don't even want to say the name of them, you know who they are. I guess this ultimately comes down to what they wanted, because it's not like JC Staff decides the budget and the timing of things and how it's going to be made. They are just, I guess, contracted to do it, but I'm just assuming that that's how it is because they don't own One Punch Man. Not even one, the creator of One Punch Man and the writer of it, or the artist of the manga, Murata, they don't own it either. Because as far as I know, they sold the rights to the parent company. I don't know the full details of that either. And if you do know the full details of one selling One Punch Man, or at least the rights of it, or whatever he did, please let me know, because I would love to know how that works. Although I don't just think that information is even public. But it's kind of out of one's hands, and Murata's as well. And I even wonder if they're aware of the reception of this. I mean, they kind of have to be at this point. The lack of quality has literally become viral, because I'm even getting recommended videos about how bad One Punch Man Season 3 is from channels that don't cover anime at all. And my friends in like real life who aren't a part of anime community or YouTubers, even they have somehow become aware of how bad Season 3 is. And they don't even know what like Jujutsu Kaisen is. But let's go back to the production side of things, because one of the animators of Season 3, Takashi Hashimoto, made a pretty interesting comment about Season 3 and the reception that it's getting. So he said, regarding One Punch Man, the criticisms, or rather the sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegally overseas, are overwhelming. The production team probably feels a lot of pain because of it. Everyone shares the same feeling. Nobody sets out to make a bad product, yet we get criticized for the smallest details. Where is our motivation supposed to go? I'll be blunt. In the next few weeks, something we poured our hearts and souls into will be aired. If people call it crap or a paper play, Kageshibai, limited animation, then so be it. But we pushed ourselves to the very limit. Please think about the creators behind the scenes. We aren't doing this as volunteers. This is everyone's job. The more you bully us, the more the staff will disappear, guaranteed. So that's like a really odd, passive-aggressive thing to say. Not so much the latter portion, but criticisms from people watching illegally overseas. So you're just assuming that because overseas viewers are giving a criticism, we're also watching it illegally, even though most of us aren't? It's licensed on plenty of streaming platforms, and I would say a vast majority of the viewers are watching it on those said platforms because we already pay for them. But xenophobia is not uncommon with individuals like this where they live. I can't even really say anything more than that because then some people will say certain words. I can't even say those certain words in this video, but it is what it is. But anyway, I'll say some of this is fair and some of it is not because, yes, they are pouring their heart and souls in it, and I don't think to make it quality, I think just to finish the deadline. They are probably pushing themselves for sure to get it out on time, and they're really working hard for sure. I don't think they're not working hard, but he for sure can't be in delusion of thinking that like this is like good. And I say that being a creator in the public spotlight who gets criticized all the time. And yes, I'm not working on a huge level like One Punch Man that gets, millions and millions of eyes on it, but still, I mean, I'm just an individual that gets hundreds of thousands of people hating on me all the time. So I think I can relate somewhat, although I don't have like an entire team behind me, although things would be way easier if I did. But what I'm ultimately trying to say is that they have to know what's going on here. I understand why he feels this way because, he is technically being bullied by a lot of people for sure. Because a lot of this isn't criticism, it's a lot of people just directly hating on him and the whole team working on it. So he is somewhat justified in feeling the way that he does, but the way that he conveyed it just comes across as kind of icky. And I don't even know what else to really say at this point. I know in my previous video addressing the hate, I said that it's probably going to be better because they were saving the budget and the effort on the big fights, but clearly they haven't. So it means that the rest of this season is just going to be the same, because even if you just go off of the intro when you see like the big final battle is going to be, I'm not going to spoil it, but come on, you can see what it's going to be. That also doesn't look like it's going to be great. So it is what it is. And normally at this point, I guess people would say like, oh, just read the manga. This is a good opportunity for that. The manga's so good. It's beautiful. The story's awesome. It's conveyed in the way that it should be. But I'm not going to say that because I don't expect anyone to read the manga, to be honest. Any manga at that. Because no one reads manga. And yes, I know people literally read manga, obviously, but I'm just talking about the vast majority of people who like anime. They're never going to read a chapter of manga in their life, and I don't expect them to. Reading manga, or just reading in general, is kind of a chore. And as I have dipped more into reviewing anime episodes and breaking them down, it is so much easier than reviewing a chapter of manga. So I'm probably going to be branching more into seasonal anime breakdown stuff, just because it's like way more accessible, it gets more eyes on it, and it's just easier to watch an anime episode. But you should for sure support the creators by giving the manga views and like buying the volumes. I know that's asking too much because like in Japan, buying physical media is like a big deal to the companies. Like they think that's like the main metric of something being successful. So even if you just buy the mangas and have them as like, I don't know, like a conversation piece in the background of your place or whatever, or in your room, because a lot of you are super young, don't have your places yet, and I get that. But you could just present yourself as like a manga reader, because I'm sure Gen Alpha and the younger Gen Zs out there think that like reading manga makes you like more of a knowledgeable person or something, I guess. I mean, I'm not expecting you to have like real books like, Dune or something, because that's a whole other thing in itself. They're not even that expensive. They're like $7-8 or something. You're gonna spend that on fast food anyway, so you might as well get yourself a little tangible little book that you can always come back to and read. Whoops, spoiler, sorry. You can always, have something to come back and look at. And look, there's, I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube, but look, that's incentive to buy the mangas. Look, that's, you guys like that stuff, right? So I guess we can come back full circle to that IMDb comment, which was a very justified comment. Will there be a remake of this? Because they have remade animes before, plenty of times. Not particularly individual seasons of a series, but I guess they could do it, but they're not going to, they don't care. Because it's not like these companies are going to like listen to the criticism and take into account and try to be better. They're actually probably just gonna get angry and double down on what they're doing. That's just not how they work. That's why the way things are the way that they are. But anyway, If you are looking for just a genuine breakdown of the episodes rather than just somebody saying how bad it is, I guess that's the purpose that I fulfill here, because that's what my videos every Sunday are. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, because we're almost at 300K. I would like to try to get there for the end of the year. Well, we got 6-7 weeks left, something like that. Oh, I said 6-7, guys. Gen Alpha, subscribe. I did the meme. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.